Hi, Mike Kennedy here with you, and what do we got here? We've got a Polaroid PhotoMagic system. Now these in their day cost at least $200, okay? So we'll see what's in it. Okay, we have a PhotoMagic System 2 Polaroid camera. And we have a circle cutter. And we have, I had to read on the internet about this, I had my explanation all wrong. This, I thought this went in the frame, but it doesn't, of course. That doesn't make sense because you'd have to buy one every time. Instead, just like we did in photo finishing with greeting cards, this is a template, and this would actually slide in the pack of film, okay? So, when you took a picture and you centered it properly, your people would be in here, your one or two people for the prom. Well, two people usually for the prom, right? And every picture you took with this inserted in the film pack would come out as a prom picture. Now this set happened to come from someone who said it was used by a limousine service. Oh, we've got another template here. I didn't see this before. We've got a template for congratulations from Lily's Limousine. There you go, Lily's Limousine. So actually, this limousine service had this camera. So when they took people to the prom or did weddings, they could offer them this picture as an ad, probably as an added value. Probably you paid extra for it, or maybe it was just included in the service to get people to want their service instead of another service. So I've got two templates. We've got a wedding and a prom. Now also, those you would just take with the camera and you would put in the frame and you'd be all set to go. That would be presented to the customer. The other option was the button cutter. And what the button cutter does is you would place your Polaroid print here and then you would close it. Then you would turn this around and the knife edge would cut out a perfect 3-inch square, which you would just pop into the button. Now, it appears to me, oh, here's one right here. Oh, good. Look at this. Here we have an actual example. Congratulations from Lily's Limousine. And we have a picture of a man and wife here during the wedding. Okay? Now this, since it was cut, was made to go in a button. Now, I'm not sure if it just fit in like this. I would assume, from what I've read about buttons in the past, that there was supposed to be a clear overlay that probably fit on this and covered it over. But all I seem to have, oh, there I do have one. There we go. Nothing like being prepared before the video. So we could put this all together, snap it together. There we have a button. Of course, we wouldn't hang it so that it's lopsided, but there now you have a button made out of it. And these button machines were very popular for a long time, and they may still be, but of course now we'd use a digital camera and have one of those small printers with us. Okay, but also came with, I guess it actually did come with a set of tools. I read someone else that said it came with a set of tools, and we appear to have tweezers, flathead screwdriver, but these other two tools, I don't even know what they are, so I'm not going to worry about them too much since we're talking more about the camera anyway. So what do we got here? I finally learned this stuff by going on the internet, and there's a PDF I can download about why you want to buy the Magic Photo System from Polaroid and how versatile it is, okay? But basically, it's just a Polaroid camera, and if you can kind of see in here, see how the lens is set back? This actually created a circle so that only that circle would get exposed on the film. Okay? And when you look, this is the viewing window, you look through here, and we'll see if we can actually look through it with this device, and we'll see if we can see, if I can get that lined up just perfectly there. At least you can see there's a circle there rather than a square. Okay. Now, interesting enough, this was a fixed focus camera. It's got a tripod mount on it. It doesn't have a cable release, which is kind of odd to me, I think. You would have to still press the shutter button. It has this rather large electronic flash assembly on here. The camera itself is heavier than I would expect. So I'm thinking there is some airspace in here, but I'm thinking there's a decent sized capacitor in here, because generally these cameras were only run from the batteries that is in each pack of film. In other words, there's no batteries to replace in this camera. There just aren't any. Each time you buy a pack of the 600 type film, there's a new battery in that pack of film. So you would stand between, if you were taking a picture of one person, you would be 4 feet away, and if you were taking a picture of 2 people, you'd be 6 feet away. So you had the range of 4 to 6 feet. And it was fixed focus. I forget what F number it was, but they're saying those 2 ranges would come out sharp enough to be sold anyway. And the one thing that appears to be missing on this system, which I don't see, oh, there it is back there. Well, now I know what the screwdriver's for. If you look directly in there, you can see they put this false front on it, okay, to make this frame so you get only the circle. Well, what that's done is put all the controls of the camera. The camera's really back here. So to change the lighting or darkening, you have to reach down there, perhaps with that screwdriver or a pencil or something, and adjust it to lighter or darker if you need to have the picture lighter or darker. But since this picture usually would be dependent more on the flash. For proms and weddings, you would tend to probably be inside, although it was a limousine service, so you might have been outside. But I think that once you had it set for the flash and you were at a certain distance, it would probably come out the same brightness each time. So if you set it for 4 feet, or let's say 6 feet, you're doing a prom, you get a picture you like at 6 feet, you leave it that way, all of your other pictures are going to come out all right, because you're primarily depending on the flash. Now, if you were to take this out and be in full sunlight, that might not be the case. I didn't quite understand what they said. Well, there does appear to be a photocell here, so I shouldn't say that it wouldn't adjust. I'll take that back. I thought the directions said the photocell was not pointing out, which I thought was a little ridiculous, but anyway, that appears to me to be some type of photocell in here, and it appears to have some neutral density filters over it, somehow to probably balance it with a flash. So in other words, they took one of their common, they made a fixed focus camera, and you can it's probably got some adjustment of the shutter with the electric eye, and then you can change it to light or dark with that. So anyway, that's what you have. And this system, like I say, now you got to figure, I'm going to go back and say in 1980, we're talking about a camera, or 1990. Now let's go to 80. $200 was quite a bit of money for a camera. But, when you took your fancy limousine ride, they could present you with either a button or a picture in a frame. So I'm sure that was quite the added value to this limousine service. But now the question is what to do with it now. And Polaroid, it no longer exists. Someone recently bought all the intellectual rights to Polaroid, including the brand name, but the intellectual property is kind of interesting because the guy who bought it is the major shareholder of this company called, the largest shareholder, he owns like 20% of the stock, of the Impossible Film Project. And what they've done is reverse engineered Polaroid film. So they have some Polaroid film that would work in this, but it's not very consistent. So they call it like art film because it gives you that wonderful effect of outdated film. Well, I never thought outdated film was that great. So, but anyway, a lot of people do. They're making money doing it, which is fine. And one day, hopefully, they will have film that is very, very consistent. I think they have a black and white product that's getting very consistent. And, but there we go. The PhotoMagic System 2 by Polaroid. Fixed focus for taking pictures of one or two individuals. And there were multiple different templates that you could, or exposure masks, I should call them, that you could buy to put in this the pack and create all kinds of different things. I mean, you can see that that's using a very small part of the picture. And in this one, it looks like it was much too far away. And the picture doesn't look that sharp at all. But that's probably why this is here instead of given to the customer. So there you go, Mike Kennedy with a $2 fine at a yard sale.